Hello learners, NIOS welcomes you to Painting Subject Video Series. This is lesson number 19, a brief history of folk and tribal art in India. Part 2. The Warli painting, as you can see in the picture near you. Basic information about the Warli painting. The Warli people are natives of Maharashtra in the Thane district, specifically two areas which are known as Dahanu and the other area is Jawahar. The Warli people live in these areas and they make these paintings on specific occasions to celebrate harvest, that is a good crop is an occasion to celebrate, where all their hard work is paid off and they have a good crop, a bumper crop which makes everybody very joyous, or when their weddings, which is also a very joyous occasion, they do their rituals and during that time they make these paintings. You will notice there is a similarity to the prehistoric cave paintings which were found all over the country. You would remember the prehistoric men and the prehistoric people drew in the caves. You would remember that from the previous lessons, and the shape and the form of the Warli paintings are similar. The speciality of the Warli painting is its simplicity, the natural way of making these forms, and the fact that this is a very ancient form of art. In these paintings, the human and the animal forms are created simply by joining two triangles at the apex. So, this is one triangle and then there is another triangle. The apex of both the triangles are joined together, which makes the figure of the animal. Or if it has to be a human, even then the apex of the two triangles are joined together and then you get that form or that figure. The Warli paintings usually represent the environment and life of the Warli people, their daily activities are depicted through the Warli paintings. Traditionally, these paintings were being done on wall. Nowadays, it is also executed on paper as well as fabric, because on the wall these paintings are not being able to be sold and the artists have to cater to the urban markets which is really growing. So, artists have now started making it on paper and fabric as well. The Palghat Devi Chowk. The Palghat Devi is a rural deity of the Warli people. The medium used in this is watercolors as well as mineral colors. This period is contemporary. The artist is Jivya Soma Mashe, and this collection is in New Delhi at the Crafts Museum. The Palghat Devi Chowk general description. In the very middle, you would see the figure of Palghat Devi, who is the Varli goddess of fertility. The Varli people believe and venerate this local deity as symbol of fertility. Within the rectangle or the chalk, you would see the border, and in the very middle is the Palghat Devi. On the top two corners, there are two figures. One is the sun and the second is the moon. Right next to the Palghat Devi, you would also see the ceremonial crowns worn by the bride and the groom during their wedding, and this is painted right next to the Palghat Devi, the top left and right corner. Now, next to the chalk on all sides, the surrounding scenes are wedding scenes. As you imagine at the wedding, what happens? There's somebody's cooking, some people are fetching water. Those things, wedding scenes, have been painted all around the chalk, and also the everyday activities of the Varli people. Next to the chalk, all around, the scenes and the activities include: first, the bridegroom riding a mare, then there are men and women shown dancing. These are the Varli people. Some figures are shown hunting, some are shown farming, some are making toddy, and then figures of flora and fauna. The Palghat Devi chalk, which is the central item along with the Palghat Devi figure, these are specifically made by married women of that area. After that, the younger women take over and cover the wall with a collage of scenes from life, different kind of activities, wedding scenes, etc. These are done by the girls or the younger women who are not married, and these scenes could be real and could be imaginary as well. But what is important is that the chalk is made by married women and all the external figures are done by younger women. This is a photo of the kind of house which the Varli people use, and we will also discuss about how the Varli people make their houses. At the onset, they use bamboo and create a skeleton structure, that is the foundation or the body of the house, a bamboo structure. So, after erecting the bamboo structure and then filling the gaps with mud, they take cow dung as well as red earth slurry. They use mud and cow dung to make a plaster and put it on the walls again. So, this reinforces the bamboo structure and makes concrete like walls, strong walls, and after that these walls are decorated with paintings, traditionally by married women, and they use rice powder. They make a paste out of rice powder and then they use this to make the paintings. But what do they use to put the rice paste on the walls? They use a stem of the local grass which is called salati, and also probably the palm leaf rib, which is beaten into fibrous mass. So, one end they would take a stone or something to beat it, thrash it, and it becomes a fibrous mass, and that part is used as a brush to put the rice paste and make the Palghat Devi chalk. Paddy harvest rituals of Warli people. The native people of Warli, the farmers especially, have a ritual where the fresh harvested paddy, before being distributed for use, is offered to a local tribal deity, the protector of crops, called Kansari Ai or Kansari Mom. We have our own belief system of the various gods, but Warli people have their own gods and goddesses and deities, one of them being the Kansari Ai. For this specific occasion, the outer wall of the house as well as the storage containers where paddy and other things are kept, these two places will be decorated by repeating the paisley impression or the fisted hand impression. This impression is called paisley and it is made by the fisted hand. This is the photo of a Pithoda painting. Basic information about the Pithoda painting. The Pithoda painting tradition belongs to in fact three distinct communities. The first two being from Madhya Pradesh in a district called Jhabua, and they are called the Bhil and the Bhilala community. So, these are the two groups from the Jhabua district in MP. And then from Gujarat, in the Vadodara area, there is a community which is called the Rathwas. So, we have these three distinct communities from two states, MP and Gujarat, and this tradition belongs to them. These local communities make these paintings to appease the local deity whose name is Pithora. Like we have our own Hindu gods, similarly local communities also have their own belief system, their own deities. Members of the Bhil and the Rathwa communities have traditionally been doing these paintings to appeal to the deity Pithora to grant them a good crop or a good harvest, or when the woman is pregnant, they pray for a son, and for that they appeal to the deity Pithora, and that is why the name Pithora painting. When the wish is fulfilled, they commission a Lakhindra. He is a traditional painter of these frescoes who has been doing this generationally and has the experience of making these paintings in connection with the rituals of these communities. The style and the color combination of the communities is quite diverse. You would see both the paintings in the picture have a lot of animals, specifically the horse, meaning the story and the rituals are similar, but the color combination is distinct. It is very different. The Bhil palette, the colors are comparatively much simple, limited and old, but the Rathwa palette, the community from Gujarat, Vadodara area, they have very vivid use of colors, more detail, more ornamentation in their painting. They fill up their painting with a lot of different kind of motifs, animals, flora, fauna, figures, while the Bhil palette and the Bhil paintings are very simplistic, limited, and the colors are very old. The Bhil and the Bhilala communities are from MP. In the contemporary times, the communities, respectively the Bhil and the Rathwa communities, the artists are making lot of decorative and exotic pithoras for the urban buyer for their living. They are selling their artwork, and every novel pithora, that is new pithora painting, the ones which were done on the wall traditionally, are not to be sold. They are done in the local community. They are actually made for specific rituals, but these artists are now starting to experiment and paint these on paper as well as fabric with acrylic colors and different kind of colors, so that they can make a living. The title of this artwork is Pithora painting, that is depicting the appeasement of the deity Pithora. The medium is watercolor as well as mineral colors. The period is contemporary, and the artist of this artwork is unknown. The artwork is currently exhibited in Bhopal, MP at the Jan Jatiya Sangrahalaya. Pithora painting, general description. This painting is done in the main inner wall of the house. So, first the desired main wall inside the house has to be decided, and then the wall is plastered using cow dung and mud slurry. So, they would make a kind of a paste of cow dung and mud slurry and put it on the wall, and then this plaster is painted with lime or white earth. How do they make the painting? They use a brush which is made of a twig of a date palm tree. So, the palm leaf, they would take the rib of the palm leaf and cut one end and beat it with a hammer or a stone or some hard object, so that it becomes a fibrous mass, and that becomes the brush. The other colors are received by using lime paste for making white, and beetroot for pink, brown color is available from ochre, yellow color is obtained from raw turmeric, green color is made with different kind of leaves which can be utilized to get the green color, black color is made by lamp soot, the blue color is made by indigo or the laundry blue, what is used to whiten clothes, and the brush is used in these colors to make the painting. The rectangular space in this painting, as you see, the white borders or the outline which is done in white is Pithora's house. You will also see there are two horses in the upper middle portion which represent the deity Pithora. Deities are local gods and goddesses which the rural or areas, the local people, the native people believe, and there are other horses also which represent other deities in this painting. The painting contains every single prescribed figure according to the custom and the ritual. You can see the two-headed mare, then the lot of animals like the lion, the elephant, the camel, the cow, the rabbit, the cobra, scorpion, the cat, peacock, fish and hen. There is also a step well. A woman can be seen drawing water, water carrier, woman whisking curds, a man smoking his hookah, a 12-headed demon, a man with baskets hanging from a yoke, a platoon, monkeys frolicking in the tree, a caged parrot, a palm tree, beehive on the tree, along with that there is the sun, the moon, A farmer with his plough and a team of bullocks can also be seen. A couple in coitus can also be seen. Outside the frame is a black rider, and the name of this black rider is Kathiya Savar, who would be a famous character within these communities, and all these figures are inside this painting. This painting is the Madhubani painting, which originates in Bihar. Madhubani is a place in Bihar. You would see the red dot in the map there, and the region adjoining that area is called Mithila, and that is why these paintings are also known as Madhubani or Mithila paintings. This originated in the Madhubani district of Bihar. These paintings were made by women on the mud wall of the kohbar, and kohbar means the bridal chamber. So, the newlyweds, the groom and the bride, where they stay in the room in the bride's house is known as the kohbar or the bridal chamber. What was the theme of Madhubani painting is Hindu mythology and local beliefs. So, Hindu mythology were all the gods and the stories related to them, and the local beliefs of the Madhubani or the Mithila region were also painted. What was the aim of the Madhubani painting? Was basically orienting the newlyweds to the concept of matrimony and fertility. The artists depicted family and local deities. Also, they would have various symbols which were fertility related. And also local mythical figures like the Naina Jogin. To cater to a growing urban market nowadays, artists are experimenting with more secular themes, and rendering the paintings on fabric, canvas, board as well as paper. This artwork is the Kohbar Ghar or the Kohbar Ghar. This is the special or the designated chamber for the bridegroom. The medium is watercolor. The period is contemporary. The artist is Padma Shri Ganga Devi. The collection is the Crafts Museum in New Delhi. The Kohbar Ghar general description. The kobar is the room or the designated room for the groom. So, when the groom is coming to the bride's house, they would live in this room before and after the marriage for some days, when all the rituals and the customs are performed, and once all the procedures, rituals, customs are taken care of, they depart back to the in-laws after the wedding ceremony. All the religious rituals etc. are conducted in this room, which is the kobar ghor. All the religious rituals related to the marriage, and after the marriage, when they stay for some time, it is in this room. This fresco is painted only by married women. The fresco is full of symbols and various kind of designs and motifs. So, mostly related to the fertility symbols, the figures of deities and local characters like Naina Jogin, and each character and each motif here has a lot of stories. So, the Naina Jogin is a character, a local character, and the same is also drawn in the kobar ghor. There are other symbols which are considered lucky, which are like the moon, the sun. Then they have the tulsi plant, which is considered holy, used in religious activities. Then the parrot, the peacock, the fish, the cobra, also the sparrow, the tortoise, the lily vine, the clove tree, the bamboo plant, the betel vine, and the water picture. Lot of these symbols are painted inside the kobar ghor. There is a specific process of making this fresco. First, they would choose a specific portion of the wall which is clear, big, and after the desired portion is selected, they would take care to ensure that it is of proper size. Then they would take rice and make a slurry out of it and prepare a base. Once the base is ready, figures are drawn using charcoal or a thin strip of bamboo which is dipped in lamp soot. Now, this thin strip of bamboo is turned into a brush by what is done is the thin strip, there would be some cotton, some cloth which is rolled at the end, which is perfect, it was used as a brush, and then is dipped in lamp soot. And one special part is that there are no empty spaces in the Madhubani fresco. The gaps are entirely full and covered with various kind of geometrical, floral, animal and bird figures. what is special is that all the colors are made by women using locally available ingredients. Like for the black color, they would use lamp soot, or the sorghum head is burnt, and after burning the residue is used for black color. Turmeric is used, or the banyan tree has a specific color type of a sap which comes out, which is mixed with lime to give a yellow color. Then the palash blossom, you would know the color saffron, which is the first stripe of our national flag, is the same color as the palash blossom, which gives the saffron color. Then there is a kusum blossom, which gives the red color. Then green, or a dull kind of a green, is from cow dung. Then the peepal bark is also used to get a specific kind of a color. Then blue is obtained from using indigo or ink, and for pink they use the vegetable which is beetroot. So, the women used locally available ingredients to make the colors themselves. Thank you for watching part 2. For any queries, please email us at signlanguage@nios.ac.in. For more information, please visit our website www.nios.ac.in. Thank you.